that appeared to be insane yesterday are realities now. Bringing people back to life. You know, people who died in the hospital, the doctors come in, there's no blood circulation, there's no pulse, the person is legally dead, the doctors walk out the room, pull the sheet over the patient's face. You know what I mean? They're making a death report, come back in, the person is sitting up. And they say, I had a near-death experience. The doctor say, near my butt, you were dead. But how do they present that to the medical society when there is no rules in the books of people who die and come back? Simply because this society haven't got that far as to mesh medical and religion. Because they won't marry the two, they don't leave room for those things, so they'll say, well, maybe they were dead. The person said, well, let me tell you something. I was floating around the room and tell people what they saw them doing during the period that they were laying there supposedly dead. And they gotta say, well, we can't explain that right now, but we're sure in time we'll have an explanation. Well, of course.
We're back now with a story that got us all talking and thinking today. It's a fascinating new study about the mysteries of death. What happens to our brains and bodies, and what it might really be like to die. Ann Thompson explains.
The moments after death.
Mr. Pendleton, you know where you are, don't you?
Hollywood imagined Warren Beatty greeted by James Mason and Buck Henry in Heaven Can Wait.
Flatline.
Kiefer Sutherland and Kevin Bacon revisited their sins in Flatliners.
So was it, Dave? Was today a good day to die?
Mary Curran Hackett experienced none of those things.
It was like almost going home, and there was nothing to be afraid of.
The Cincinnati writer's heart stopped for several minutes in the hospital in 2004.
And I could see everything, feel everything, hear everything, even though I know now I was medically dying. I felt an overwhelming rush and almost a pressure being pulled, like almost like a force field being pulled back into my body. And then I woke up and saw the doctors that I had been seeing working on me.
Experience like Hackett's part of a new scientific study published today. It found people who went into cardiac arrest and were brought back to life by CPR, almost 40% had a recollection of dying. NYU's Dr. Sam Parnia is the lead researcher.
We found signs of normal brain electrical activity that is consistent with the types of things that we all have when we're fully conscious.
What does your study show about what happens to the brain after the heart stops?
Contrary to the way that doctors have been taught, contrary to the way that doctors have been taught, contrary to the way that doctors have been taught, that after the heart stops, the brain does not die. It hibernates, and it shows the ability to recover even an hour longer afterwards.
Parnia and Hackett are working on a book. Parnia hopes it will spur new innovation in resuscitation technology. Hackett hopes it will make us think.
If you talk about how you're going to die or what's going to happen when you die, it frames how you are going to live. And what could be more impactful?
As science tries to unlock the mystery of death. Ann Thompson, NBC News.
So life after death, which has always been based on faith and belief, is no longer simply faith and belief. It's now possible and bending towards probable. And to some, confirmed. You with me? How will that affect us as human beings?